I'm Harry Styles.
Okay.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful?
I like Serve.
Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way.
And you'll be happy to hear that I'm going to be agreeing with Nicole. You're through.
Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode
of One Direction Infection. My name's Summer.
Hi, and I am Emma. I almost forgot my name.
Oh my god. You are not bleep from the last...
No.
From your... What was it? Footloose
Footloose
audition?
My, yeah, I can't have that mishap happen again. And this is lower stakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome.
Welcome to today.
Yes.
Last time we talked about Louis' audition, which was a nice little moment in history.
It was. Yeah.
And also weird that like we didn't get to see half of that moment until like a couple of years ago.
I know. Yeah, we had no background or like very little background other footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned this before, but as far as I could find out, Zayn and Louis' auditions were never aired until like after the show ended.
Okay.
And if they were aired, it was like a little clip or something,
right?
Because I couldn't find it in any of the main episodes. So
right. So it was like very much like, hey, look at these, members of One Direction. Look at where they started.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Instead
Instead of being like Harry, as we're talking about today.
Yeah.
A whole segment.
They're just like, look at that cheeky guy.
Look at that cheeky lad.
Cheeky chap.
Cheeky chap.
I feel like people on Love Island always say, like, yeah, I'm looking for a cheeky chap, like, all the time. And I'm like,
Real.
what does that mean?
A cheeky chap.
Absolute geezer.
Oh my god. Wow.
Okay, anyway, yeah, we are talking about Harry's audition today. So as I mentioned before in the other episodes, he auditioned the same day as Louis and Zayn.
Wow.
And yeah, we're just having him go last because that's what the archival timeline that I found had his name last.
Yeah.
I just hoping that they know something that I don't.
Exactly.
About timing.
Finishing up this part of it with a bang.
Yeah. Bang bang, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 10th, 2010.
Wow.
Take me back. Even though I was 12.
I was literally 12.
It'd be easier if I was born in like 2000 to do
I know.
that. But anyway. Yeah, so his audition aired, as we know, on X Factor, which was episode 6, which was their like Manchester audition episode. And this episode aired September 19th, 2010.
Wow.
I think it's just weird to like think about like the time in between the audition and the airing.
Right.
Because it's not like a super like long turnaround or anything.
No.
Like that's actually a pretty short turnaround for TV. But like with editing and all those things. But like he auditioned in July 10th and was experiencing all this stuff by the time anybody in the world even like knew about him.
Right,
really.
yeah.
Background of Harry Styles.
Give me more. Let me know more.
I feel like I knew like all of this stuff already that I found, like I researched about him. Because he's so like, he's always been like the favorite of One Direction, and also he's like people don't even know he's in a boy band anymore.
I know.
That he was in a boy band.
That's fucking crazy.
Or, like these little girls are like, who's One Direction?
Right.
Like,
But,
what is that?
Yeah, like I think like I'm just thinking about as like and another example. I'm like, obviously I know Justin Timberlake was in a boy band.
Yeah.
But like I don't think of him as, oh, he was in a boy band.
I think I do though. I'm like, that's the boy band guy.
Right. That's fair. This is besides the point. But which one was he in?
I don't know because I really barely know the difference between NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
I know, which
But I
I
feel,
feel like we need to know our ancient texts.
yeah,
Like, I feel like we should know.
the source.
Yeah, the source. So maybe that's another side series. No, I'm kidding. But
We're starting another podcast.
another project. But yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of, like Harry's situation.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of people that have been in boy bands, even like really, really popular boy bands. Mm-hmm. But like Harry's really, he has never spoken bad about One Direction, but he still like is so separate from One Direction.
Yeah.
Like he is thought of as his own celebrity.
Right.
Which is real. Like I can't think of anybody else that has that. Like some people might know, like there's like, I don't even know the name of these people, but like the Love is Blind like host, like it's like a couple, and the guy, can't even think of his name right now, but he's
Do not know that man.
he was in a boy band. Like people might know that guy, but like they're not like, wow, that awesome guy with like a huge like music career, it was in a boy band. That's crazy. It's just like, oh, that guy, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. But yeah, no, that's, yes, yeah.
Okay, anyway, so Harry Styles was born February 1st, 1994.
Wow.
And he is from Holmes Chapel. I mean, Holmes Chapel.
Holmes Chapel.
I feel like his whole like brand, not like overall, but I feel like when I would think about like the background of like Harry Styles or like whatever, it was like that he's from a little village and he was a baker.
And he was a baker. Yeah.
And it was like a small town. And you know, especially from like the like This Is Us.
Yes.
Like, he's like, I've worked in a bakery here.
Yes.
That's my attempt.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay. But yeah, so Holmes Chapel is a very little village in northwest England, and it's not far from Manchester, but it's also somewhat nearby Liverpool as well.
Okay.
I don't know
Wow.
if that helps.
No, that does help. A good map.
And then, so the population as of 2021 was 6,700.
Wow. That's tiny. I mean, not tiny. I mean, it's tiny compared to the other ones.
I know. And then I couldn't find any, like, I wanted to, like, see past population of it, but I couldn't find it, like, any good sources or whatever for it. But I think it has grown, and it's, like, the Wikipedia says it's because they have, like, housing developments. But I'm also, like, there's gotta be somebody out there that moved there because of Harry Styles.
Oh, for sure.
One of those 6,000 people.
One of those 6,000 people, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
He was born to Anne and Desmond Styles.
Wow.
And he has one older sister, Gemma.
We love it.
Icon.
Gemma.
What was that one song that Five Sauce wrote? It was like English Love Affair. It was about her.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know
my
that.
gosh. There you go. Spoiler.
Whoa, that's crazy. I did not know that at all.
Wow.
Wow.
And she's like an author now, and like,
Oh, nice.
she had like her own stuff going on.
Yeah.
And she like never talks about Harry, which is kind of frustrating, but also fair.
Yeah. I feel like if I had a famous sibling, I would also do that.
Yeah. So Harry's parents got divorced, and Anne later marries John Cox, who is his stepfather at this time. It sounds like his dad is kind of weird,
Oh.
but I couldn't get very much information about
Yeah. We all have weird dads.
it to different degrees.
To different degrees, but I know what it's like to have a weird dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Anne is an icon.
And yes, she is.
Anne Twist.
Yes. That is such, like, that.
What
name.
are these names?
Yes. Harry Styles and Twist.
How do you get those names?
Right.
How are you born Harry Styles?
Yeah.
You have to be like thinking about that
You
when you're
do.
naming your kid, right?
And you're just like, this sounds amazing. And you're
Yeah.
right. That's a little superstar right there. Harry Styles.
yeah, like you have to be thinking like, I need my son to be a pop icon.
Harry Styles as he's coming out of the birth canal.
Oh my god. Actually, that did happen.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh my god. So this brings us to Harry's like music experience, and he was the lead singer of a band from his like friends in school, which brings us to a topic.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think it's the new soundbite for, all right, here we go. We're putting on our serious hats now. I don't know.
Yeah. So, because of the name of this band, we are going to discuss the origins because, yeah, his band name was White, and then it's a word that starts with an E, and it's considered a slur. And you can look it up. I'm not going to say it because, it's considered culturally insensitive slur.
Yeah.
It refers to the Inuk or Inuit people, which is the like indigenous group of people in like the Arctic and subarctic regions of the world. And so most of these like indigenous people prefer to be called like Inuit, which also, by the way, I don't know if it's Inuit or Inuit. I feel like I've heard Inuit more, but I don't know if that's just kind of like a white kind of take on it or not. Also, by the way, I'm not an expert at all. I have like known this fact for a while, and then just kind of trying my best to look into the history of it to explain it.
Continuing to learn.
Yeah. So they prefer to be called, Inuit. So Inuit is actually the plural version of the word, and Inuk is the singular version. And they do not want to be called the other name that starts with an E.
Yes.
So Inuit people, as I said before, are indigenous to Arctic and subarctic regions. So like areas like Canada, Alaska, Greenland, etc. And also Inuit does not like refer to specific tribes. It just is a word that refers to a group of like historically and culturally similar indigenous peoples. So if you know the name of the tribe, you should say that, basically.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because it's a huge region that like is covering.
So vast.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually insane how huge that region is.
I know. So the term that we are... the slur.
The slur, yeah.
The slur is a term made up by, like, white colonizers in history. We don't know exactly... Like, we don't know the exact... like origins of it, but it's thought to be like either the French or the Danish, and it's considered a culturally insensitive slur for most Inuit people. So the majority of that population would consider it to be a slur. Obviously most people don't know that now. Definitely most people did not know that back then.
No, for sure.
Just saying that. And that's it, I guess. That's the side note.
Right, which is a very important side note.
Yeah.
And we hope that you learned something.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not going to say this word.
No.
Like, but then obviously I do want to describe it. But it does feel weird, like I'm not, like, the arbiter of this, like, information.
Right. I think, yeah. But we're creating a space, and I think that it's a good thing to be talking about it in this space, and hope to continue a conversation.
You sound like NPR.
Well, I'm switched to my serious mode.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in public radio. But I think it's important to continue the conversation and point out these things. I don't know, it's important to me. So yeah.
And I do believe it should be important for everyone that cares about humanity and specifically indigenous people, because I feel like indigenous people are like some of the most like forgotten about populations. When we're thinking about, I mean, even when people say like, oh my gosh, like America is so young, and I know what they mean,
right?
But like I feel like a lot of people just forget that like we literally massacred the people that were living here for like thousands and thousands of years. So
like the state of America is young, but the people there were people on this land.
Like, we destroyed anything that we could have had. Yeah. Like, people, we talk about, like, old buildings and stuff in, like, Europe. Like, you couldn't see, like, a 500-year-old building in Europe is commonplace or whatever.
Right.
But, like, in the U.S., it's not very common. But it's, like, we destroyed any hope of seeing the history of our, land.
Exactly.
So.
And... Yeah, exactly. I have no notes to add because exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, he was in that band, and he was in like a battle of the bands, which he mentions like in his audition, and he won.
Yep.
And I wish so bad I could find out more information about this.
I know.
Or just see like a clip or something. Like who was his
Yeah.
competition?
Right, yeah. Like, who was there performing too? And, like, how big was the, like, audience? Because he mentions in, like, the little interview is that, like, you know, he performed on stage and he realized that that's something he wanted to do. And I'm like, I'm thinking about, like, an auditorium. How big was this auditorium?
I know. I mean, like, we watch like these videos of him we can have access to
Right, yeah.
from his band, and he was just playing like little shows. Like,
Right.
He actually played at a wedding, and I don't know like whose favor that
Right.
was.
Yeah, or was, yeah, what was that? I wish if I could time travel, I would go to that wedding.
This is what I would do.
This is what I want to go to that wedding. And I want to just watch, and I want to be there.
That would be crazy.
That would be so insane.
And it's really hard to tell. I don't think they're bad. Like, I think they were
No.
good, especially the instrument like players. Like,
Yeah.
the guitar players are really, really good.
Yes.
But it's really hard to tell the quality of their music because of the shitty like cameras. Like
The
recording
audio,
devices.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
There's like so much like feedback, and like also they might not have had like good, I don't know what the word for this is, but like it felt like Harry's voice like drowned out by the other instruments.
Yeah, like the sound, balancing the sound or whatever. I don't know. The
I was
word
gonna
of it
say
either.
leveling, but I'm like, I don't know if that means something different.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there was like a video of them performing at like a school. I think it was at his school, and the kids just like stood up, and they were just like from sitting. They were just sitting in chairs, and they stood up while they were like starting to play.
Yeah.
And they all had. I think they were just filming with their little
They were
little phones.
yeah.
I'm like, that must have looked like shit.
I bet those videos are crunchy.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, he worked at a bakery. As well.
One thing about Harry Styles, he worked at a bakery.
I like served.
That is so funny. I like serve
I like serve.
cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say about that. It feels like a big part of his like identity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it also like, because he worked a lot with the like older women at the bakery, and I feel like that changed his personality. This is me making assumptions, and like just from viewing everything, but like I feel like that impacted his personality, like being around those women. And I just remember specifically in This Is Us when one of the older women smacks his butt.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like I'm like, they've known each other for years.
Yeah.
Like he was, he probably started working there before he was 16, obviously. And I'm just like, that.
What are the labor laws there? Because I feel like when we were 16, I don't think you could work if you were under, like McDonald's had like a special thing where you could work if you were like 15 and a half or something.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Who knows?
Drop it in the comments.
Under the table.
Under the table. Yeah, probably cash dealings.
So all those ladies were like, please, Harry. Please. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, and then the Wikipedia source was like an article that like Gemma, I think, wrote, or at least was like interviewed for about Harry. I don't know if it's, what's the word, reputable?
He said two different things.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 95% sure that it is, but just on the off chance it isn't, I'm just saying that.
It is. It is. Always is.
What? Oh my god. It's not even like 10 p.m. like last time.
No, I know. I think it's the amount of coffee that I've had today.
Yeah.
I feel great.
All right. Good.
Woohoo!
Anyway, according to this article, and I've heard it in other, like bios about Harry's, like, background, like,
Yeah.
childhood or whatever. He also had a paper delivery route.
Oh, that's fun.
Which
He's a little paper boy.
I feel like that checks out. I feel like I can see that.
I could absolutely see that. Imagine stepping out your door in the morning and Harry Styles riding a bike and you're like, "Thank you, Harry," and he throws the paper and you're like, "Have a good day," and he's like, "Bye."
Oh my god. That's my fantasy. Every night I think about that.
Yeah, I can see it though. I feel like I don't know how good his aim would be though. Because, you're like, you have to make sure you get it
like,
on a certain point of the, lawn.
yeah, but I have no idea, like, in my mind, a paper boy is, like, in the American suburbs, riding a bike, a kid throws it wherever they want.
Yeah.
Who knows, in England, it could be, like, my
Maybe.
mom picked me up and
Right.
we drove the car together. Like, I don't know.
Or, like, even just, like, walking down the street. I guess maybe...
You could just walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I want to know more.
Me. Tell us. Share with us your experience.
I want to be able to
You've been-
envision.
If you've been a paper boy, let us know what it's like.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know any paper boys. I don't know any paper delivery people.
I feel like that's definitely one of those things that is not... Like, it probably exists somewhere, but not as common as it was.
Yeah. I feel like there was, like, a kid that did it in our high school, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I could believe that.
Like, one of the farm kids or something. Is that rude? They lived on a farm.
that was just like, yeah, I guess so.
Like, rural. They lived in the country.
Right, yeah.
Rural.
Okay.
Any fucking way. Paper delivery, and he, according to himself, he said he mucked out horses, which means cleaning stables.
Oh, okay.
I used to muck out.
Yeah, me
Muck
too.
out. I'm not used to the mucking out. Is where you.
What the hell is
you
muck
scoop all
out?
the poo
Clear all the poo up.
So he was kind of a entrepreneur.
I think he was just a little country boy.
I think, yeah. I mean, he was just making his money.
Yeah, and it was all like early morning grind.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Farm, paper, bakery.
Bakery. I need to see that schedule.
Yeah. Send me your schedule.
Harry, yeah, drop that schedule.
Oh my god.
Which one was first? I don't know.
Who knows? Probably bakery, I would assume. I'm almost skeptical that the bakery was even that long.
No. Well, what I
Like-
was I'm thinking he probably didn't bake. He wasn't baking. He wasn't in the
He was the
in
cashier.
He was serving.
Because customer service.
He was customer service. He was
sure.
serving.
like serve.
Serve.
He like served.
Yeah. So he wasn't baking, so he didn't have to be there in the morning. What he probably did is go throw some newspapers, go muck out the stables, and then went to the bakery.
But I'm just like, I don't know how long he actually worked at this bakery.
That's
'Cause
fair.
Paper delivery and cleaning people's like stables, I can see that being just like, a kid, like, I'll give you 20 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
I
once in a
cannot
while.
resist the British accent. So sorry. I can't say 20 pounds in
20
American
pounds.
accent. 20 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
The Great British Pound.
The Great British Pound.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like skeptical that he was even working at the bakery that long.
Right. Maybe like a month.
And he was so young, like maybe he just did work there when he was like 14 or something. Or maybe these ladies that were there just kind of like knew him already in the town.
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't just from working in the bakery.
Right.
So, he was planning on studying like a bunch of different things for GCSEs, like he said in his audition. Again, still trying to understand the British school system. I did look it up last night. I think they said like most people take like 8 to 10 GCSEs.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't. That seems crazy.
How
do they
long?
split it up between years? I think they do. Maybe
Probably.
they do.
I mean,
Like first year you do 4 something, and the second year you do 4.
That
Like,
makes sense.
English. I think you have to do like like the basic like English, math, and stuff, and then you can do. Like Harry said, he like considered being a lawyer and a physiotherapist.
Wow.
What? I guess I've never wanted like an ambitious career like that.
Yeah.
Where, like I can't just imagine being like I want to be a lawyer or a doctor. Like that is different. Those are different.
Those
things.
are very different.
Like make up. You need
things.
to make up your mind.
Yeah, and he did.
But at the same time, you're 16. Why do you have to know? But you have to like base your GCSEs around what you want to do.
Yeah, when
in
you're
like 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
I guess that's it. So for his audition, he was 16 years old,
Yes.
as we just said. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the fact that he was chosen for a long segment as a complete nobody.
How do you do the producers when they look? I think I just figured it out. I wonder if during the producer auditions they flag these people and they're like, this person would be great for a longer segment. So when they come into audition, we have to make sure we get a longer segment for them.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my guess. That's my guess. Because I'm just it doesn't make sense for it to be super random and they just see him in the line and they're like, yeah! This has to be planned out in some way. Especially if they're already doing 1 or 2, auditions before that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just kind of creepy when you think about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's grown adults, who knows,
Right.
behind the camera or behind the scenes, I want that little boy on the
Get that boy on screen!
But yeah, anyway. His attitude for this whole time, to me, just feels so, yeah.
It's whatever.
This is me.
Yeah. I'm just here. Sing my song.
Was he compensating for something? Trying to, hide other feelings? Or was he just genuinely, yep, this is me.
Yeah. I'm so cool.
This is what I do.
Yep. I just sing. I serve. Maybe that's just him absolutely naturally.
Yeah, he just seemed like such a douchebag compared to how I know him now.
Yeah.
Just to be honest.
That's what being 16 will do to you.
Ugh. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows how much of a front he put on.
Right.
Yeah, so his family is outside in line wearing shirts that say, "We think Harry has the X Factor."
That's incredible.
This is one of those things where I'm I want to know who thought of this, who decided it, who planned it out, made the t-shirts, ordered them, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then Anne, his mom, and Gemma, his sister, and presumably his stepdad are all there, and some other people. Again.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
And just who knows? People from the community.
There might be one person from the band, but it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
In this segment, he talks about where he's from and how it's boring there.
Harry Styles, I'm 16, I'm from Holmes Chapel in Cheshire. It's quite boring, there's nothing much happens there. It's quite picturesque.
His demeanor is so just I don't know, cool. I'm cool.
He's yeah.
But it's not compared to other 16-year-olds, it could be way worse.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, compared to the Harry Styles I know and love. That, I'm who is that kid?
Right, yeah.
Because he's got to be, he seems like one of the kindest people that are a celebrity to me.
I don't know. I mean, what the vibe that I got obviously was this he's a 16-year-old boy. He does a lot of things. He's, he is confident and maybe a little cocky. But I don't know. He serves.
Yeah. He talks about how his band won in the Battle of the Bands, like I said earlier, and it showed him this is what he wants to do. And he said, I got such a thrill.
That is, wow. I got a thrill, so now I'm here.
Winning Battle of the Bands and playing to that many people, really showed me that's what I wanted to do. I got such a thrill when I was in front of people singing.
People tell him he's a good singer, especially his mum.
Yes.
People tell me that I'm a good singer, it's usually my mum. So
And they always say that, don't they?
And then Simon goes.
This
"Mom's-"
is outside.
Oh, this is outside?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're outside still. Okay.
This is, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not at the audition yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Outside, I don't know if maybe I didn't say that. Outside line segment.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Okay, so actual, and then I literally said actual audition.
There we go. We're here now. Yep.
So for the audition, the judges again are Simon, Nicole, and Louis, as previously discussed.
Yes. We know the background of that already.
His outfit is Lost at Sea.
He literally he was thrown. He walked the plank. I think that's he walked the plank.
But I love his little hair.
Yes,
It's so cute.
Yes,
Like short, like little curly, fetus, hairy hair.
Yep. That little tiny scarf.
And then he has this gray cardigan.
It's very thin.
Yeah. It's like
so
not
thin.
supposed to really do anything.
No. Yeah, I could not figure out what was on the scarf.
It's like, is that like Simlish? Is that like an actual, like, language that's written on his scarf? Like,
Just
what is that?
A weird little print. And it's wrapped around a lot.
It must be so long.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to imagine, like, I still don't know boys that accessorize.
No.
It's really hard for me to imagine, like, Harry Styles in his bedroom, like, this morning, getting his long scarf out and
Yes.
putting it on his body.
Yeah.
Purposely.
Right.
It's really hard. And wrapping it around twice.
But yeah, like he was, like, there was purpose in his outfit.
Yeah.
And it goes together.
What's that say?
I see Satan. It says Satan.
Hey, it does say Satan.
It says Satan.
Oh my god. Or Santa. No, it does say Satan, though. That's literally what it says all
Satan.
over.
Oh my god.
Satan. I see it at least 2 times in full, and all the other letters are, SAT.
Yeah. Yeah. That is incredible.
Okay,
I love it.
To recap, he's wearing a scarf that is tan brown with Satan written all over it.
Yes. And like some textile-y
Like
print,
a distressed
type. Yeah. And that scarf has to be like almost as tall as he is. Like how long it is.
Oh my god.
Because like even when it's wrapped around twice,
Harry.
What is he Satan?
Well, also that reminds me though, his band, like the rest of his band members, are kind of like emo looking.
Oh my god.
And he was just like, maybe it just was the hair.
Oh.
Like where Harry doesn't look too emo compared to his band members.
Yeah.
But it also feels like he was dressing more preppy. But I'm like, maybe this is where this is coming from. His band members were like,
you can borrow my scarf.
It says Satan a lot.
It's really cool.
And like, if people know, they know. And if they don't, they won't know.
They won't know. Has anyone? I just want to, like, how, I have never seen that before. I'm just like, Satan.
Satan. That's insane.
That is hilarious.
I'm glad we figured that out in real time. It says nothing else on it.
No. No wonder he had to walk the plank.
Wait, I see sail.
What? What?
I see L's too.
What does it mean?
Does it say like all hail Satan or something?
Oh,
I bet that's what it says.
God.
I bet that's what it says.
That is a statement piece.
But yeah, at the very least, we know it says Satan many times.
Yes. And possibly all hail Satan, which is hilarious, and I kind of want it. I kind of want this scarf.
Look at his face wearing it. Like, you did not need to be wearing that.
Those fucking dimples and his scarf. You see his dimples, his little smile, his like... And then you see his scarf and you're like, ooh, it's just a cute little textured scarf. It has, whatever, a print on it. And then you look closer and it says, all hail Satan.
I don't don't know what his shoes he's wearing.
No.
But he's wearing a belt.
A belt.
He's wearing a belt.
Yep.
That's all you need to know. And brown pants. Oh my gosh. What is that?
It looks like a headband that he's wrapped around his wrist.
Perhaps so. But yeah, bracelet, like, it looks like a cloth and then, like, beads.
Wow.
Like, these boys accessorize way more than I do.
Yeah.
A lot. At least, the average day.
Right. I mean, I guess this isn't an average day for them.
Well, an average day for me.
Yeah.
I need to find his shoes.
This is important information. I wonder if they're going to be untied and open.
So, like, this setup is, like, he's, like, sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
That's, like, the same picture we have of, like, Louis' setup and Zayn's. So it's, like, from the same day. Well, it is from the same day. What is happening? Where's his feet?
Show me the feet!
Oh my god, also, after his audition, they have, like, a stupid, like, runner that, like, Louis is being, like moody and, like, negative.
Oh
and
my God.
they're like, you're, like, black and white. And they, like, edit his image, like, when he, like, they, like, flash back to other parts where he was, like, rejecting people, and he's, like, in black and white and the rest of it in color. And I'm like, who thought this was funny?
What's the matter with you? I'm sitting there at the moment in black and white. I'm wearing colour. Literally the voice of glue.
When you're chewing. And as the auditions continue, Louis' dark mood shows no signs of lifting.
No, in black and white, literally.
Well, I feel like obviously the producer, I'm not the producers, but the judges absolutely, like, the vibe it gives off is that they are, like, told to do specific things, obviously, to, like, it's TV. And, like, I think sometimes Louis and Simon specifically disagree with each other to make good TV. That's my guess. It's alleged. I don't know for sure. But that's what it feels like.
It just feels like that edit of him in black and white is so cheesy.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is obviously, like 15 years old, but...
Yeah. But yeah, for sure.
It's unacceptable.
Exactly. Come on, X Factor.
What is that? Where are his shoes?
Oh,
it's boots. It's boots.
Oh my god. They look like... They're like
chunky.
Yeah, they look like not combat boots, but like...
They're untied.
They are untied.
Oh my god.
Tongue out, untied. That's incredible.
You know what they say.
You know what they say.
Is that the only shot? I feel like a creep right now.
Well, I think it's important to understand
Is that the only shot of Harry Styles' feet at 16 years old at the X Factor audition?
We're looking at the shoes. There it is. It's about the shoes. It really is. They almost look like winter boots. Just from, like, the...
Yeah, they look like winter boots.
Yeah. They look like they should have, like, fur at the top.
Oh my god. I think that's what it is.
2 opportunities.
Not even in the original audition do we see his shoes.
No.
Yeah, so anyway, that's his outfit. He walks out. Mm-hmm. The audience is cheering a lot.
Yes.
Even, like, while he's talking and stuff.
They go crazy.
What are they telling his audience to do, if anything? I assume they do tell them
right.
to do stuff.
Probably to, like, make noise. Like, applaud. Applaud. Don't applaud.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
But I feel like it is telling that even while he was talking, even while he was talking, they were still cheering, like, and he could barely, like, speak over them.
Right.
I even wrote in my notes, he's a cheeky chappy.
He is a cheeky chappy. ... He's a cheeky chappy.
Cheeky chappy. But yeah, he talks about how he works at a bakery. He works there on Saturdays. He says he finished his GCSEs and he's going to college in September. Mm-hmm. And I wrote in my notes, no, you are not. I cannot describe how much you are not going to college in September.
Yep. You don't even know.
He says he's gonna study law, sociology, business, and something else, but not sure yet.
LOL.
And what are you going to study at college?
Law, sociology, business, and something else, but I'm not sure yet.
Wow.
Just a few things.
Yeah.
Very light things.
But I guess it's just like taking like an AP class or something, right?
Yeah, probably.
Or just any class.
Yeah. Any class.
But I feel like it's more similar to AP class than like a regular class.
Yeah.
Like from our experience.
100% focused in a specific topic rather than like a general maths class. Maths.
Also, this is like covering the original audition just because there's kind of like more from the extended one.
Mm-hmm.
So then he sings Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder a cappella.
Yes.
He sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Like not like industry standard, but for a 16-year-old with not like very much experience.
Yep.
Sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah.
a lot of good bones.
Exactly.
If you will.
Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she?
But yeah, so the like original cut from the season, like the extended cut that we see later, he sings Hey Soul Sister, which we'll talk about in a second too, but yeah, it was not good, and obviously it's not in his like airing. They were like, look at this sweet little guy, they're not going to show you his bad performance.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Nicole says she's glad they got to hear a cappella, and he has a beautiful voice at 16.
We could really hear how great your voice is.
Thank you.
For 16 years old, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Louis says he's so young and doesn't have enough experience. And then Simon says that like somebody yells rubbish in the audience.
I think you're so young. I don't think you have enough experience or confidence yet.
Okay.
Yeah, someone in the audience just said rubbish, and I totally agree with them.
Simon, I am thinking too much about Simon Says.
Simon Says.
Simon said his age doesn't matter, like, because he's like trying to fight with Louis.
Right,
like,
exactly.
His age doesn't matter.
I
love
what this
16-year-olds.
competition is supposed to be. It could be 14, 15. No, it wasn't 14. It was 16, 8,
You have
17.
to be 16.
You have to be 16.
He wasn't old enough until he was 16. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Simon says his age doesn't matter, and with a bit of vocal coaching, he could be very good.
I think with a bit of vocal coaching, you actually could be very good.
Thank you. Thanks.
So the votes are Louis says no, and the audience boos him.
Rubbish.
Boo.
Boo.
Harry, for all the right reasons, I am going to say no. I
Actually, don't think they booed you loud enough there.
Nicole says yes, she likes him, and Simon agrees with Nicole and says yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the extended cut from 2022, we get, I like serve.
I like serve the cakes in like the shop bit.
I like serve. I was mid-yawn, okay?
I feel like that was, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Simon's like asking what's popular and not popular at the bakery. I don't know what he's saying.
I looked up one of the loaves, like the last loaf that wasn't doing that good. I'm pointing down because Harry does. Yeah, it's what I remember what it's called.
That's a visual cue for everybody.
Exactly.
in the room with us in the live audience.
In the live audience, cue a laugh track. And it was like it's just a loaf of bread, and that's what it is.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
White Coburg.
What's that?
White Coburg. It's like a white loaf, and it's like a circle. And it's got like a cross on the top.
But yeah, then there's like a little bit extra of like why he wants to audition. His mom is telling him he's a good singer.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha. Mums don't always know.
Yeah.
And he says this is why he wants to find out if he is good.
My mum's always told me that I'm a good singer, and so have my friends.
Okay, mums normally don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
I wanted to come and ask from the people who know.
Okay.
His first song choice is Hey Soul Sister with the track. This is what happens. Louis, this is his favorite song.
Yes.
He loves this song.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Right.
That occurs.
No, I love that song, Harry. That's my favourite song of the charts. Train.
Hey, soul sister.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, it does not sound great. Like,
No.
like, yeah, it's just like almost like shaky, and like the pitch or something is
Yeah.
bad. I wish I knew more about like music to like describe better, but
Yeah.
it just sounds off for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like, have you sung before?
Right. It was like very much like, well, parts of it you could tell he was like getting to the pitch, but like especially in the beginning it was like shaky, almost like he didn't have enough like breath support to like support the notes, and like part of that was probably nerves. And then I think you probably mentioned this, but I think, was it Nicole? No, someone says that like, I wonder if the track is throwing you off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that could absolutely be like.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the track that's throwing you, but can I hear something just you without any music?
And plus he's literally used to singing with a live band.
Yeah. That's
like,
a big change.
Like if he makes a different like decision within singing, like the band can try to account for that. I mean, I'm just guessing.
Right, yeah.
That does happen when you're singing with like a band.
Yeah.
So that could be it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then he does Isn't She Lovely? And it's so much better.
It's
100%. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the consensus is that he's very cute, very cool, very likable.
Yep.
And just need a lot more vocal skill and like stage presence.
Yeah.
Like performance.
Yeah, performance.
You know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He does got some sort of X factor.
He does.
He's got a little something.
I don't think anyone can deny that.
Yeah. But he, doesn't, at least at this age, have like the talent to be like a solo person, I would say.
Yeah.
No offense.
With all the love in the world.
I love you, Harry.
But at 16.
But I have to be honest.
Yeah. You as a 16-year-old.
15 years ago, you sucked.
You sucked. You could not be solo.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of these auditions and stuff were like looking like, I don't know, like when you go from listening to singing voices like from the radio, like like mixes and things that are already mixed, like for your listening pleasure, that's like on the album of like an artist, like versus like hearing like somebody sing live, you can have a lot of like criticisms about it, like and you're thinking more, like, I feel like the judges were thinking more of, like, an abundance mindset with these boys. Like, especially because they're, like, they like them. They have, like, a personality. Mm-hmm. Like, they have, like, I don't know, the looks, I guess.
Right, yeah.
The cuteness, the attractiveness. I feel like I'm, like, saying this like a professor.
Professor.
And then, as long as you have something that sounds like that could be built on, which, by the way, this is another conversation. Most people, like, okay, hold on. First of all, like, singing is a human experience.
Yes.
Like, the whole thing of, like, talent within singing is kind of like a letdown for me, because I'm just like, everyone sings, come on. That's like art in general, like that shouldn't be like, I'm not an artist, I'm not a musician, like that's a human thing, like we all have that within ourselves. It's just kind of like a matter of like, were we encouraged to do it as children, like that kind of thing. But yeah, also like if you do want to become a stronger singer and like, have the right pitches and stuff, like you can learn to do that.
100%.
And like these boys fucking learned.
They did.
Because all of them are amazing singers now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and like overall, like musicians, like they didn't like, for me, but like from like my viewpoint, like you can see from obviously where they started and like their knowledge, like their base knowledge of music and where they are now. I mean, that's how many years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like,
but even after 1 year, they were like so improved.
Yes. Like,
even like with, when we get into like the live shows that they did, like the first one is like, what's happening?
Why? Oh, yeah. And then like, just in that short time period, like you can tell they were very dedicated and they were like, we want to grow as musicians. And they did that.
Yeah, and they had their anchor, by the way.
They did have their own anchor. They did.
Okay, anyway, also, Mila Tequila says in her, like, One Direction timeline video that, like, after Harry was, like, proven to be charming before he even sang, like, they didn't really care about how he sounded.
Right. They were gonna let him through regardless.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And he did sound good in Isn't She Lovely?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, but after he first did, like, Hey Soul Sister, they were like, that's, wait. Yeah,
we need
to fix
hold up.
this.
Yeah. And, like, to be fair, like, Hey Soul Sister was pitchy, but, like, you could still hear, like, the bones, like you were saying, like, the foundation of a singer. And, like, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, his performances with the band were good, I would say. Like,
from
at least for, like,
hear,
what they were. Like, it's not like you're like, in the industry. Like, you're not, like, selling, like, albums or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's, like, pretty similar. Like, when you go from listening to, like, I don't know, like, your high school band or, like, watching your high school play. Especially if you're, like, obviously if you're not in, like, a performing arts school.
Yeah.
Just, like, a regular school.
Regular, schmegular.
Especially our school where, like, auditions were a thing, but, like, everybody got.
You were in the play if you auditioned.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
If you wanted to do something, you just did it because there was space for everybody.
Right, exactly.
There were very few of us.
And the arts were gradually defunded. Which is, that's a whole nother conversation.
Not the football, though. Even though we were horrible. Anyway. Hearing, like, real people that aren't, like, celebrities with, like, years and years and years and hours upon hours of experience, like, you forget that, like, sounding like that is a very human thing.
Yes.
And, like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, it's kind of crazy because, like, some people are passed over for the way they look or, like, whatever, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of our audition.
Wow.
What's the recaps?
The going over the audition. That's crazy. So what's next? Summer?
What's next? So that's kind of our first segment in the podcast. Next, we're talking about kind of like the the bridge of, you know, X Factor. Of One Direction members in X Factor before they even, like, get put together.
That's exciting.
So yeah, and there is stuff to get into
for sure.
You would not think.
Yeah, and I think this is also some of the things that I wasn't aware of until very, very recently. Like, when I was paying attention to One Direction in my early years, I definitely wasn't, like, aware of how they were put together, you know, like, I knew they were formed on X Factor, but I was like, I didn't know the process or, like, how they were chosen. Like, I saw them do their boot camp, but
yeah, I mean, we're not even talking about that yet. We're, like,
right,
next
that's
week
true.
will be not next week. I would have to have this 9 to 5
to
do this, to pull us together next week
on the next episode.
Yeah, so next time we'll be talking about just, like, the next few episodes of X Factor before, you know, they are formed together. So that includes Zayney dancing, being scared. Just, like, things about who else is on the show that we know at the time. The little, like, behind the scenes things they do. Yeah. Like, from Extra Factor.
Oh my god.
So there's surprisingly a lot to get into before we even, like, have emotional turmoil for them and make them think they have failed.
The torture.
Just to bring them back again.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Goodbye.